Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting, August 18th, 2025 at 5:30 PM in the town hall. We have Selectwoman Jude Reed. We switched places on me now. Selectwoman Jude Reed, Selectman Jim Lamppost, myself, First Selectwoman Martha Shoemaker, for those of you who are not on. But before we begin today, we have these presentation to Suzanne McCullough, who's our recording clerk. And Suzanne is leaving us due to other obligations, and we're gonna miss her.
Thanks so much.
And she's also leaving open space, and they're sad.
Oh,
So we will find your shoes. Will
you're
be
finally
fine to fill.
retiring.
Now I'll be fully tired.
Good for you.
I'm-
Well, yeah, I was going to
So
say, and
Suzanne,
need my
you can-
sunglasses.
We cannot thank you enough for all the times you have sat.
Three. I'll be back.
Huh?
Like improves. I'll
Yeah.
go.
That's great.
Thanks, Katie.
Okay. So information items, communications, and correspondence. So I'm going to start with some correspondence I received. You all received the petition from Brighton Road, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that you have that.
Yep.
And we received our correspondence from Sarah, who's going to present on park. But I received a letter, and I'm giving you both a copy. This is from Emma Semino, who works for Deep. And basically, she's telling us that we need to hit some milestones. And she has one of our milestones incorrect because she put in here that the 2nd was supposed to be our referendum, but it's really the 9th. So I've written back to her. I've also explained to her that we do also have to follow rules abide by the Secretary of State's rules for the referendum. And we need 3 weeks for absentee ballots. So I want you both to read through this. We know that tomorrow they open the bids from Miami. And next Tuesday night is a presentation at the high school. So that more questions, but after that presentation on the 26th, on Tuesday night, sorry, we may have to have a special meeting to decide if we're moving this to the Board of Finance. And then, ask the Board of Finance just to try. But you can read through this and we can have a discussion on this later because it is not, I don't have it on the agenda. I just got this Friday.
Okay.
And I wasn't in the office, so I picked it up like Friday night after the agenda was done. All right. So we're going to go to public comment first.
Can we talk about other
I'm sorry.
communications?
Yes, go ahead.
Couple of things. I received an announcement, and I think both of you, from Andrea Fenton regarding Temple Bethel. Also received an email today from Edie Twining, who has asked that the numbers be reviewed for the attorney's fees for Halls Road overlay. That what has been presented to our board was 41,000 plus, and she says her total is 19,800. So I'd like that noted and added to today's meeting minutes. Would you like a copy?
Yes, but
Okay.
well, we already have, I have a copy of that. So I can.
No, I meant for Suzanne. I'd like it in the minutes.
I put them in the minutes at the end. I put all the information in correspondence.
I received this yesterday.
Yes,
Okay.
but it will go in the minutes.
Okay, great. I
It's
just like to
in the-
mention
sure.
it along with all the
Because
other
she doesn't
correspondence.
do all the scanning. I do.
Okay, great.
So we can
So-
just make note that Edie's correspondence can go in. But I think Edie is incorrect. And I responded to her and said, please come in
I saw
after the 25th and I'd be more than happy to go over everything with you. All right. So anything, Jim?
Just a lot of internal housekeeping that you all received as well, so.
Okay. So next up, approval of minutes, July 21st, the infamous minutes of July 21st. Jim, you, I believe, had provided, and then we Jude, I think you wanted a little bit of time because there were some things that you had picked up. So do we
yeah.
want to, can we have a motion on to approve the minutes and then we'll go through and make the changes as noted?
Go ahead, Jim.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of July 21st.
I'll second. Okay, further discussion. Jude, is there anything?
I have small things, so if you want to go first, Jim, be my guest. Nothing?
That
Okay.
was all my comments that I had last week.
Section 3, last paragraph, last sentence, Sarah question mark is Sarah Van, the VLIET. Where it says Sarah, correspondence from Sarah question mark.
It's a misspelling. Got it.
VAN
VAN.
BLIET. Last line under 4. Jim, I think your wife's name is misspelled. It
Yeah,
says
I had made note of that.
Mahela, it's Michaela.
My
Pearson.
CHAELLE.
MICA.
AELLE.
I fixed that.
Yeah.
My
that was-
copy's fixed.
Okay, then I'm operating from the copy that hasn't been fixed because we hadn't gone over the minutes. We had postponed them. Okay,
This is the one that actually came off. I had gone through and fixed some of the things that I could for spelling errors.
okay,
and
great. That's wonderful.
Okay. Anything else, Jude, as far as content?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Hearing no further discussion, can call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes of July 21st, 2025 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, the next one is our minutes of August 4th, 2025. And there were multiple things attached to it as well that went into the minutes. Just so you know, Chim's Ferry Road sidewalk went in, open space proposal went in, and also the 2 letters that were read into the minutes, Steve Ross and Frank Papalardo's minutes. Those letters were also included in the minutes. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes of August 4th? And then we can go through and make corrections.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Okay, let's open for discussion. Is there any changes or edits that you see on this that need to be done?
I only have 2 small ones where it said graffiti on Connecticut River Bridge sign was reported. I did have a photo of it and it had been taken down. And under additional comments, I don't know which page this is. I don't see a number. Is it Mr. Potter or Mr. Potts? Had some good ideas about sewer alternatives. Is it Potts, Potts, instead of Potter?
What page was that on?
It is under, I think these are a little confusing.
I just want
7,
to, 7?
7F is the start of the page. It starts with F, and then it's under additional public comment.
Oh, okay.
This section where Paula Lillo spoke.
Okay.
It's not Potter, it should be what?
Potts.
Potts.
Okay.
And the photo, the graffiti photo was taken down, you said?
I have a photo. It was a large Amtrak infrastructure project sign at the entryway to the Amtrak work area. I have a photo of it, but it has been taken down.
Okay. With those changes made, can we have a call for a vote? All those to approve with the changes as noted, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The minutes of August 4th. Pass unanimously. Okay. Next up, we have a presentation from Parks and Rec. Would you like to come forward to the table, please, so that we can have your voices be heard on the tape? I'm sorry. Yeah, we haven't done public comment. Oh, sorry, public comment. You can still sit here for this.
Yeah.
Is there any public comment from the audience? Any public comment online?
Yes.
Okay, Carolyn?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I sent you guys email about sewers and public safety in town.
Mhm.
And I'm surprised I didn't hear you mention anything tonight yet about public safety. We in town need to have overnight coverage, local, not waiting for Westbrook to come 20 minutes away. So I'm hoping that in the next budget year, you will plan for at least a couple officers. One officer is not going to do it. We have a lot of mileage to cover in town. And I don't think that a lot of townspeople are aware that we do not have local coverage from 7 at night till early in the morning. And that's just doesn't make a lot of us feel very safe overnight. Thank you.
Carolyn, I just want you to know, we do have an officer on till 11 o'clock every night, and then they pick up again they come in for roll call around 6:30.
That's
So-
not what an officer just told me last week. He said, nope, after 7, we've got nobody. So
That
I
might have
don't-
been on a particular
I don't know what
evening.
to
It is
do.
not it is not the standard.
oh, well, then I
But
don't
I
know.
will run through with Matt Weber.
Yep.
To
Okay.
check.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other public comment? Hearing none. We will move on to our presentation from Park and Rec. And by the way, I got this today in the mail. It's about a playground grant, and they'll pay for the material 100%. If it's a playground, they'll grant. So you might want to apply.
Is it steep oriented such
No,
that
no, this
all
is just-
public would
this is-
be available to go
this is-
there?
It's just a grant through one of the playground. It's actually through one of the playground companies.
Oh.
So you could look into it. I don't know if they have anything that you'd like to offer, but I know you have one quote. But because it is over 20,000, you might want to look and see if you have another.
Okay,
It's
thanks.
just an option.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Sarah to everyone. She's the vice chair of the Park and Rec, and both Sarah and Missy did a wonderful job correlating all the results from the survey that we had on Haynes Park. And we've been working on various things to make the park more presentable to the public, because that's the main complaint. It's kind of gotten run down, besides the fact that a lot of geese moved in there in the last 5 or 10 years. I mean, I remember 29 years ago coming here. There was a beautiful place to swim. There were geese would travel through this and that, but in the last 5 to 10 years, it's gotten bad. But we're taking steps to mitigate that. But I don't want to take away from the presentation, and we're having some success, by the way.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. I
Okay.
appreciate the introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you and good to meet you. I
Hi,
haven't
Sarah.
met Sarah Van Vliet, Vice Chair. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I know that you've received and hopefully had an opportunity to review the July 9th letter that the commission submitted. I submitted on behalf of the commission. It reflected the results of the Haynes Park Community Survey, which I'll provide a brief summary of, but would refer you to the letter for more details. And the two key points and action items that we wanted to bring for your consideration are, firstly, support for lake dredging at Haynes Park towards the efforts we've made around improving the inviting and community friendly aspects of Haynes Park and its utilization by our community. And then secondly, while we pursue goose mitigation strategies, which are long-term initiatives, we want to request your support for enhanced cleaning at Haynes Park to curtail the goose excrement. And we have a couple of ways that we think that that could be done. So just as a brief summary of the survey, there were 138 respondents. It's a large number. Obviously, we would have hoped for a broader base of respondents, but we did reach out to families through the Park and Rec email database, excluding Lyme, and submitted it through your weekly update, the link. So we had 138 responses, and I think it's at least a significant sample set to reveal some key metrics around, firstly, support for swim area improvements, including specifically dredging. And we did purposefully include that in the survey to get a broad base of feedback on that particular strategy.
Mhm.
83% of those respondents supported swim area improvements, including dredging. And 72% of respondents reported that they would use Haynes Park more often if there were a clean and defined swim area. And what the comments from the survey reveal is something you probably have seen if you visited Haynes Park, owing to a lot of issues, but there's muck, leeches, a lot of that from the goose excrement, which creates over 1 pound per day per animal. And also just leaf and foliage. I think it's been more than 30 years since the area has been dredged. I lived in town, other than moving out of town for professional reasons and school, for almost 40 years. I myself had swim lessons at Haynes Park,
So
if
did
you
my
can
kids.
believe
So
it.
did my kids.
And I can remember
Yeah.
it being deep enough
Mhm.
to judge
And
where
it
how
was
far
busy.
you were allowed to. Right. So that was just a great community service, and actually, some support for bringing back swim lessons was reflected in the survey results. So I hope that we can be in an opportunity in a year or two to consider doing things like that, because we've taken the steps to revitalize the swim area. And I know Bob can speak to some of the specifics, but with respect to dredging, we did get some preliminary estimates from local contractors around the order of magnitude that this project would entail. And it's a broad range, given the preliminary. I believe it was somewhere from 300,000 to even 900,000.
So it's probably
So-
somewhere in between, having done
Right.
big jobs around here before.
And I think there's more work to do to understand how frequently we would need to do something like this to maintain a swim area. But I think that the community, and I can speak for myself, having heard the feedback from the survey and from holding the Haynes Park position as chair of this enhancement committee, that this is a worthwhile effort to undertake. It is expensive, but I think it's really worth pursuing so that we can use and reclaim this really vital asset to our community. Some of the comments are reflected in the letter, so I'll let you refer to those. Do you have any questions sort of about dredging before I move to the second issue?
I do. Have you, Bob, you may already know, have you determined how long the application period would be to get permits for dredging? And do you have to go through
No.
the Army Corps of Engineers?
Well, unless the town's going to make a commitment
Mhm.
to trying to revitalize that area, I think the best way to get estimates on everything to be done is to hire a
Of course.
competent professional engineer. Now, I know a couple engineers. We had our local engineers
Mhm.
come and give a
You did.
pretty huge estimate. The guy they brought over was $900,000 for the project and $100,000 for the engineering, which I think in personal experience is a little bit out of line for engineering.
I would think so, but I also haven't been in on a project having to deal with the Army Corps of Engineers
Oh, yeah.
and the amount of
and
time
neither
it
have I.
takes in years, but I know it can be
Mhm.
a multi-year process, so I'm
Yes.
curious about that.
Yes, and that's why it could also be a multi-year process to put money aside to do this.
Exactly. So it
But-
may give you
But,
time to build the
Before
capital.
anybody does all that
Mhm.
stuff, I think it's really important, if we're going to make a financial commitment to do this, is to get a real competent professional.
Absolutely.
I remember with Townwoods Park, we got Vollmer Associates, and they were a little bit more expensive, but everyone was in-house.
Mhm.
They did a wonderful job, and not only taking care of all the permitting, all the surveys, dealing with all people who were upset
Right.
about wetlands and all that, and they gave the most important part is they gave us a good estimate of what the estimates were going to come in at.
Well, the nice thing is that you've been involved in all these projects over the years, so you have a history and
Yeah,
experience.
and I'm
so-
getting a little old to continue to do it.
Well, it
To
sounds
do
like you have
lot
a
of
good
this stuff.
partner here,
And
but your knowledge is valuable.
oh, yeah, and $100,000 for an engineer, I thought we have to look outside of our
Of course.
resident and probably do some competitive bidding. Now, I also know that in this year's budget, Don related to us that we had $30,000 put in there for a survey and planning.
You
I-
have, you
huh?
have to do the survey of the area that you wish to have dredged. You have to have that ready before anybody can give you any type
So
of
we can
real
maybe
estimate.
go forward on that without an engineer, but I would
Okay.
suggest,
It will be an engineer that will do the survey, but
and you know some people too, Martha, that I think that we can do that, most certainly. But I think it's most important that everybody's thinking along the lines, if we can do this project and get the money in the next couple of years or something, but like similar to what we did with down at by Mile Creek School by Cross Lane.
Right.
For the pickleball court, the resurfacing, all that, I think it was over 3 years.
Right.
Board of Finance put money aside, and that's what I'm suggesting we do, put for 2 or 3 years, try to get the money for that. Now, of course, we can go out and get, if that's the first stage,
Well, the
We-
first stage, as Martha said, will be to survey it.
yeah.
And then I think maybe simultaneously work on an application process to see if it's even possible that we get the permits, because I imagine it would be
That's-
a number of years.
That's my concern.
Yeah, how many years will it take to get a permit?
I don't know
To do the
anything.
work.
I think navigable areas, I can understand the need for that,
Yeah.
but I don't think on town-owned.
I think you have to just get your
No,
permit
it's-
from deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
could
They
just,
may consult.
And
to
I've,
the-
I've never done it in a
So,
lake or
We
been
already
involved.
have another area town that just did this, so I think that we reach out to them, and Sarah, I'm happy to
Okay, thanks.
call them.
There may
and
be
say,
more, yeah.
Mhm.
what's your process?
Was that on the
What-
river?
it was on
No.
the, wasn't it? Showing what the dredging of 4 Mile.
No,
I'm just thinking about
More
areas that
town.
are not.
What-
Yeah, Mark should know a lot about
I
this
just think-
too. If we can talk to Mark, Sarah,
They dredge their
about,
their library.
who to
Not
contact.
the same, but it's gonna, they're gonna. have
Martha, where was
people
that?
I can reach out and find out, but it's not exactly, it wasn't a lake, but they had to go through permitting because it's a water thing, and they had fish and wildlife that were living in it.
Okay,
So they had to go through permitting.
Okay.
So let me reach out to that first select person and see if I can get some information on that. And then if they have any good ties, then we can start there.
Yeah.
And if not,
We'd be glad to.
I can also reach out to Rivercog to see through their environmental people, what's the process for dredging of an area like this?
Yeah, that's great. And I appreciate the feedback, and we certainly anticipate that there'll be all
You know-
these
you know
things
who
to
we may-
navigate. We just want to make sure firstly that we have sort of the groundwork of support
And
for
I,
the funding piece of it. And then I'm happy to do the legwork on the other piece.
I was gonna suggest I just saw on the news last week that Simsbury is restored after 2 years of digging out a swimming hole that they had.
nice.
Did you see it on the news too?
I've
Yeah,
seen
but-
other
but
articles,
like,
other
They've
places.
worked on it for 2 years and they're finally gonna be swimming like, in the next month or so there. So maybe Simsbury, if we can contact somebody there, because I don't know if a swimming hole is the same as a lake.
Right,
which it
and
probably isn't.
If
as
you
you
don't
said,
mind me jumping in here,
Huh?
if you don't mind me jumping in,
Yeah.
I completely support all of this. I mean, I
Mhm.
think we need to bring back swimming in Rogers Lake. I think it's an embarrassment that it fails constantly. It's always closed. And it's our only freshwater swimming area. And
Yes.
swimming areas are few and far
Right.
between.
Yep.
They're precious and it's the only freshwater one we have. So I'm 100% behind this effort. And I think we should move quickly on the aggressive mitigation of
yes,
the goose excrement, that
Exactly.
portion of it, the cleanup, as much as we can. We can
Yeah.
discuss funding of that here. If we get estimates on what that would cost, that'd be great. I have a concern about dredging. Well, I don't know enough about it. What I would like to discuss is the possibility of having an environmental study of the lake to see what's going on there exactly. Now, we know part of it is the goose problem. What I would hate to see is we dredge the lake and then we find out 2 years from now that we're still failing because it's runoff from the road, because it's a point source maybe we hadn't considered. So I'd like to see, have an expert just come in and say, this is your pollution problem. And it may just be the geese. It may just be foliage, but they're also, we may be going down a road where we're going to try and pursue dredging and be caught up in these regulatory issues.
Yep.
And we're not going to be able to do anything. So I'd like to get some kind of consultant to come in and assess the problem before we move forward on a solution that we're not 100% sure is possible or 100% anymore. I know we used to do it, and 100% sure it's going to be totally effective. But the goal, I think, is we have to clean up that lake and make it swimmable
Right.
Yeah.
as soon as
And
we can.
I echo Jim's, I'm all for enhancing Rogers Lake, every piece of it.
I'm sorry, I thought you were
That's
finished.
all right. You can jump in and I'll come back. I'll get my thoughts.
No, I agree. And I think it being a safety issue and it's a valuable resource that you, as a young person, used. And I hear comments all the time that people don't use it because of the conditions it's in. It's a health and safety issue, but there seems to be, I'm sure there's wildlife and other foliage, fauna that needs to be considered as we move forward with this. And as you said, having it surveyed, having it evaluated. And I spoke with Candace last week we had a meeting. And I think the starting point is to do an evaluation.
Right. We did have two letters on this because it was coming up today, one from Candace Fuchs and one from
Mhm.
Paul Fuchs, talking about the dredging and same types of concern, but basically, originally, I think you had dredging as number 12 on your master plan. And then, one of the things that, I think,
Mhm.
do you remember that?
Yeah, I have the
Yeah.
report right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not ranked in order. Well,
Okay.
the prioritized and phased, but yes, 12 is
Okay.
dredging.
I will say again that yes, I do think Jim is right, a consultant. I would also really love someone who knows how to plan a park be involved. And I know I pushed last year at one of your meetings for a master plan. I know we have a partial one, but I really would love to see a master plan of how we enhance this park throughout with everything else that you want to put into it.
It's not a very large park.
It
And
isn't.
I've pursued a plan, and I want to push you to give me a little more precision on what you mean by that, because I have BSC with a rendering, if you will, but
Yes.
it needs adjustments because we decided not to pursue the pavilion
Right.
for many reasons, and that placement has now moved to where the playground will be. So me following up with
So wait
BSC
a
is a
minute, we're not
multi-month
putting in the
process.
pavilion anymore?
No,
Okay, so what happened to our deposit on the pavilion?
it's been
We got it back.
refunded.
Okay.
Anita got it back. I think
Okay.
Anita's on the phone there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
5,000 something or other.
Yes, 5,700, we got it back.
There we go.
Thank you.
That's what the
Didn't
exact
see that
numbers
check
there.
come through. It must have gone right to you.
Yeah.
But more to my point is to understand the BSC drawing is one term for a plan. The plan, the report by the subcommittee with a number of items that we want to pursue collectively in iterative stages is another plan. And when you say you want to get a planner, like what more do you want this small
Well, I
town
think the
to
BSC,
do
I
as
think
far
the
as planning is
I think
going?
the BSC is a really good start. But I think there are some things that have been added since the BSM plan was in.
They put our playground in. I've been working with them for several months.
Okay.
So it's not the original plan,
So I haven't seen,
right? Because it's in draft.
Okay.
We had them stop work on something that we got them to do pro bono, by the way. I did after
Great.
pursuing it.
Thank
many weeks because they supposedly owed us a plan. In any
Right,
case, we
they
agreed to
did.
just have them help us on
That's
a pro
great.
bono
So
basis.
maybe you
But
and you could sit down with me on the draft plan, show me the draft
Right,
plan.
and we
That
did,
would be
we
great.
took a tactical pause when we weren't sure that we would pursue things like the playground until dredging was done. But then when we encountered hurdles on funding for dredging and took into account all the steps on permitting that we'll take in coordination with state and local, we decided to reinvigorate the playground,
Mhm.
which will be installed in fall, and not really put a pause on that because it's a near-term asset to the area, and
Yep.
we didn't want to wait for something that may never
Yeah.
happen with dredging. So
Yeah.
that all being said, BSC was put on hold. I wanted to get feedback from this meeting before we sort of re-engage with them so that I can understand from you, Martha, what more on the BSC front or other fronts will satisfy the request that you're making as far as a plan.
I think the visual is a big piece of showing the public what is the finished product. What will the finished product look like? The water enhancement as far as the dredging and the goose poop and all of that are things that you really can't put in a visual, and we understand that. But I think that when you go to ask for money for a town, for a project, the best part is to show them something of this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. And I think that's important.
And
I will point out too,
Any-
oh, go ahead.
When I see the draft, then I'll know more, but I haven't seen the draft.
Maybe it's going back in a number of years, but 2015, the Park and Rec Commission at that time came up with a master plan.
Mhm.
And we were hoping that we could work with, when the boathouse was
Yeah.
made, and it was supposed to be a two-phase project,
Mhm.
phase one and phase two. We never quite got to phase two. And we actually, in quite a lot of detail, put down all the things we wanted seen done.
Mhm.
But at that time, there was not even a commitment for BSC to do that, based on that committee at that time. Didn't want to, we provided them with information and wanted something along those lines.
Yep. But I appreciate the fact that Sarah reached out and renegotiated,
Yeah,
renegotiated for free.
yeah.
And that was perfect. And Sarah and I'll talk, she'll share it with me and we'll go from there. I think that.
I'd like to see that too, Sarah, once, if
Okay.
you submit it to Martha, so the
Yes.
rest of us could view. Thank you.
And I think if we could, because we're gonna have to prioritize and, you know, it's the work that's been done is commendable and, you know, I support it. And we need to do that, but we have to really address the environmental problem of the lake first. We have to clean that lake up, because no matter what we do around the lake will matter if the water is still dirty. So if we can address that source, you know, whatever it is, to know for sure what is compromising the lake, let's address that. Let's make that an aggressive priority.
And I think
For our next budget, at least, you know, actually all the people that, all the candidates are in the room right now. So at least three of the four of us will be here in January, and it would be a good priority, I think, for this board to have.
yes, and I think that there's environmental and recreational grants that will help on all aspects of this park to further enhance it. And some of them will pay 100%. So we'll get you on those lists too, to look into them and let's see what we can do for money that's not going to impact the tax dollars completely.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Being a taxpayer, and I speak for my friends.
Oh, I concur, like, but the other thing you have to watch out for the grants, if you go through something like steep, that means anyone could then use that park to go swimming and
It's-
everything else. But I know that not all the grants are steep like.
Right. There's a lot of different
If we
grants.
can find some that aren't steep like.
I did try to find grants for dredging early on and wasn't successful. And I did work with our harbor management
Mhm.
friends
With
as
Sharon.
well.
Well, they
Yeah,
just
navigation
got
channels
one
have-
from Port Authority, but that's more for Long Island Sound and.
Yeah, it's navigable versus.
Mhm.
And that-
Right,
and navigable have-
And that
has
was where the
different-
trouble was.
Yeah. It's a little
But we have
easier to
some
do.
great people up at Murphy's office and Courtney's office that if you tell them what, they put like markers in, and if one of those pops up, they send them to us right away.
You
So-
might reach out to Devin Carney, who is our state rep, and he might help with this as well.
Or Martha Marks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Um,
so we're gonna, the action plan is to get this survey and maybe we get some sort of consultant now. If anybody has ideas of what Jim was talking about, a good consultant
Oh,
or something like this.
I'll look into it, yes. but
Yeah,
whatever
that would be helpful because,
And if you have a firm that does aggressive cleanup of existing poo, you know, the geese.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Can I just speak to that second point in terms of the cleaning? So just the survey results are in the letter, so you can refer to that. Obviously, it's a huge issue, is the
Mhm.
use excrement. And Martha, I know you suggested reinvigorating the discussion with Rogers Lake Authority, Mark Hastings. He and I have spoken. In fact, a volunteer set from Rogers Lake Authority undertook with a survey, with a permit, egg addling this year permitted of, I have the numbers in our minutes from the
I think he
last
said it's
meeting,
like 20.
26 nests, 100.
Yeah, 26
some
nests
eggs.
on 3 of the islands they
Right.
went on, and they're looking for help and volunteers because they're willing to expand not only to all the islands there, but even other areas of town which may need something like that.
And
Right.
Sarah, you and Mark, did you want to co-sign that letter that you were gonna send, the permission letter?
We can do that. Yeah. To the property owners.
Yeah.
With their consent in writing. Yeah, sure.
I
Absolutely.
know that
And, and
Mark
Mark,
was all for it.
yeah, and he offered to help solicit additional volunteers and his group would train them for next
Mhm.
season's nesting at locations. We have high hopes as permission, for example, at the pond area near Town Woods
Mhm.
and also then at Cross Lane. Because it needs to be a coordinated effort, more so than just in our community, to be honest. And that's what the USDA was pushing. But short of that, we'll try to pursue the community efforts rather than the USDA, which will save some money as long as we can keep it sustained. We're fully in favor of that. The other piece of this, though, because those are long lead, the egg addling, and we don't want to necessarily undertake the legal methods at this time, although you can, of course, debate that and consider it. We need to clean up what is there. And we've requested that at least weekly, Public Works uses the town-owned cleaning machine.
We don't have one.
No, it's like a pull along.
No, they take a backhoe down to the
The
beach.
backhoe.
Oh, and you just scrape it.
They
Right.
scrape it kind of,
Okay.
and we, I guess last year we might have had it done twice during the summer months, but it needs to be done more than that when the geese decide to come there. So we suggested weekly, but even every 2 weeks or whatever, getting the town crew to do that on a more regular basis is one of the things that Don is working on with Ed Dante to see if we can have it done more frequently. But ideally, it'd be nice once a week.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
at least once a week. And I kind of wanted to hear your feedback, or I can come to a follow-on meeting if you need more time to look into it. But what is the holdup with recognizing resources are scarce? But my feedback and my impression from Don is that he gets put at the bottom of the list. And I know there are other things that Public Works is doing. But I guess what I'd suggest is, can we push this issue a little bit more to make it a priority for this to be done weekly? And then if we can't, I'm happy to look into cleaning services and provide you the costs, and we can make a judgment whether we allocate our town resources with this machine we have the pull along to this and
So-
Public Works people to this, or we pay to have someone else do it, but it needs to be done.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
There's
But
local beach
Hearing-
cleaning service in town that does it at our Long Island Sound waterfront beaches. So maybe they could be
Hmm.
enlisted, or we could ask quotes for them.
yeah, we are, I'm assuming you'd like to have it done once or twice between now and Labor Day. What about afterwards? Can you give me a time period of when you want it done once a week? I mean, is there an ending date for the season?
I'd say once they have the babies in the spring, that's when,
Well,
Yeah,
let's
well-
talk, Don, right now, I want to talk between now and Christmas.
between now, yeah.
But we're not talking about any,
Oh, in the
I mean,
fall.
I would say until the weather is not seasonal anymore.
Yes.
I could try to research when that is,
Like
but early
October?
November,
October?
like through October.
Yeah,
I
usually
think it's
September and
been pretty
October are
warm.
very nice months around here.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so at
Let's
least
especially
to
if the
October, I'd
playground
say.
is-
And rowing season is how, I don't know when
I know
that
that,
ends.
Ed has spoken to me already that he would love to get some new topsoil down there, but he doesn't want to, well, maybe what he should do it now because we know that dredging, he goes, I don't want to put topsoil down and regrade. He goes, that a lot of that park is uneven. It needs some regrading. And he said, and I'd love to do it, but he said, I don't want to do it if they're going to dredge and then put all the dredging material and ruin what we do. So that's something that you as Park and Rec is going to have to, if you want to do it, and then maybe we go back and patch after dredging. But if we could get it to grow, I mean, fall is the opportune time for some reseeding, if possible.
This fall is opportunity
Right.
from September.
And I don't know what his resources as far as what he's got available for seed and, topsoil, but I can talk to him.
Yeah, does he have money in a budget for topsoil?
Always have money for topsoil because we always have needs for it.
Okay,
But we still have to clean up the goose poop.
Yeah, well,
That would seem like a do it now type. thing
Yeah,
to me.
especially with
if we can get,
another
The
month at
washes and
least of
breaks it down.
summer until September 20th
and
or so.
Don and I spoke this morning about the lip on 156 and it's only an inch up on the driveway. He said you get a heavy rain, it's still, we're still seeing the runoff down the road from
Right.
156. Even though we've made some corrections and it's much better. It's not 100%.
may I add, the two corrections we made was, the lip, that there was no lip before on that driveway by the
Yes.
boathouse. And the second one is that when you have a descending driveway, one of the ordinances says not only are you supposed to have a lip, but you're supposed to have a 6-inch rise.
Mhm.
So even though it may still go down there, nothing compared to what was happening before where everything went down there.
Right, but we don't, Bob, you agree that we don't want to see the sand and the salt and the other things that.
Oh,
come
of
off
course. And being,
156
yeah.
going into the lake.
No,
So
no,
the
no,
more,
sorry, Route 1.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Don,
right, yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, of course. I don't want to
So,
see any of that
I think
happen.
we need to see if there's anything else and, I have someone coming from DOT about something else, so I can run that by him.
Okay.
Just because really it's probably more on their side of the road than our driveway lip enters onto the road, but they get the final say. Because we had to consult with them before about putting the lip in.
Bob, you might want to talk to the Garvin beach cleaning people. I know they do a lot of beach areas and
Yeah.
it's very reasonably priced if we're only talking 1 or 2 times before the.
Oh, if Public Works can't do it.
Right,
But I think one of the things too is that we've started this Graham application 2 weeks ago and another one just last Friday, and it seems to have some effect.
great.
None of these, idling's gonna take years. Whatever we do with the geese is gonna take years. And, but if we can just see steady progress, I think it would give us a better
Well, there,
feeling about putting a lot more resources into the park.
Sarah, when the scram is put down, how, what is the intent? To leave it? Does it wash away? Does it dilute once it's rained upon? What will it do long term as far as, because like if we wanted to put down new topsoil, you don't want to, do we not want to put it over the goose scram because we want it there for as long as possible?
I think this was debated at the
Okay.
commission.
Mhm.
I know, Bob, you know a lot about the goose scram. I think to answer your question, it does dissipate with rain, as we saw. And it is a test case that we're using now,
Yes,
Okay.
really to evaluate whether we want to pursue
more.
more of it.
Yeah,
Because
the
you would
future.
have to really commit to keeping it applied and reapplied at the event of rain.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it deters topsoil unless we decide to do a full in.
I could
effort
talk
with
to
the
this
goose scram.
Salem Safe Lawns, is doing the scram applications now.
Okay.
And basically they said, you gotta do it twice in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then you have to do it at least once a month, at least. Because if you have heavy rain, it will wash away. Little rain, medium-sized rain, it'll stay, but after 2 or 3 weeks, it loses its effect. And the effect is it's an organic product, so it doesn't hurt the pond, doesn't hurt people, doesn't even hurt the geese as far as it doesn't taste as good as regular grass, and it gives them a little stomach upset.
Yeah. But we did
So-
observe that they hated it.
They hated it.
We
We've
did
observed,
see-
yeah, they hated it. But how long it lasts, it was all weather dependent.
well, we haven't had much rain lately, so
No, not-
hopefully it's effective.
So we'll see. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I remember 2 weeks ago, I was
Mhm.
actually away in Cape Cod.
Yeah.
And that Thursday night, we had torrential rain after an application on Monday. And I'm sure after that
Yeah.
that
dissipated.
rainstorm, I heard it worked for a few days. I wasn't around to monitor it. So these are all things where
So we've had the 2
Right.
applications and we're not due for another one, or are we?
we just had one, and we probably wouldn't do another one for another 3 weeks. We have money in the budget to do 4.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so we'll see how the experiment works.
I'm not sure if I prayed
Going
for
back to my
rain or
old
not.
profession.
Okay. So I think that you've heard from all three of us that we totally approve
Mhm.
of enhancing a plan that you have. I mean, we'll get together and definitely for the budget season, which will be coming up in November, December timeframe to start to put together, but as much of the financial information implications that you can put together with each of those steps is better for the budget so that we can say, this is what we're going to need for the total plan, but these are the things that we could do. And if we could, and what's important, what comes first? What's the first things we need to do? How much do we budget for that? What do we budget for second as we do a 2 or 3 year plan over time? And I will try to get you as much information on dredging as possible and find out what the other
That'd be great.
towns have done. Okay.
That'd be great. And I will check with Salem Safe Lawns about if we decide to put some topsoil out now, because we wouldn't do dredging for 2 or 3 years. We were talking about maybe we could have done it this year,
Ask
but
them if geese like
I know.
grass seed.
yeah, and see whether or not.
Don't want to put grass seed down and find out that's their.
Yeah, the scram was not good for the grass seed. Yeah,
They like grass,
I will
so
ask, but I think that's a good idea, especially for
maybe there's a
September.
type of grass seed they don't like, so that's the
I'm
other.
sure they like certain ones more than others.
Possibly.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, well,
Thanks
thank
for your
you.
support.
Good to meet you,
I appreciate it.
Sarah.
So,
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye, Bob. Hi to Nancy.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, VAN.
Space.
Okay, so we move on to
We
new
did a
business.
poster one years
Basically,
ago
we really
with the
don't.
Historical Society. Good luck.
Thank you.
tonight.
Thanks.
I think we can move on safely from A, that we've already said that we've all confirmed that we are supporting this project.
Yeah.
And we don't really.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Talk to you soon. We don't have a total request. So I think that we can move on from A and move forward with our petition from Brighton Road, which you both received.
Mhm.
But basically,
Can I interrupt for a second, if I may? We had somebody that didn't unmute in time for public comment. Can you let me know when's a good time to take that?
we'll do that at the
And a new business.
end of new business. So we have 2 quick items to go through.
Okay,
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so, basically we received a petition from those residents of Brighton Road. I think everyone's on this list except for 4 people. And it says, we, the undersigned residents of Brighton Road in Old Lyme, Connecticut, request the Old Lyme Road and Public Safety Committee to recommend the following adjustments to Brighton Road. 1, reduce the speed limit to 15 miles per hour. 2, install 2 seasonal speed bumps in the area of 37 Brighton Road and 64 Brighton Road. And 3, install slow down signage on existing speed limit poles. And then the various residents signed it. So this was presented to me in person at the Road and Public Safety Committee, and then it was also sent to all 3 of us so that we would have it in electronic format. The Road and Public Safety Committee feels that this should be acted on. Speed limit signs to 15. In some spaces, it's 20. And we are making changes as we speak. Some changes were made today for another road that had mismatched signs, so we fixed those. And the speed bumps are still quite a concern for emergency services. We also talked about some other items. And over the weekend, I don't know what they're called, but I understand now there's one down in Stonington, but it looks like a ramp. It almost looks like you're going to take off on an airplane. And they have them up in Hartford on a straightaway, and it's in a very residential area. But they rise up and it's rubber. And if for Hartford to accept it, I figured the snow plows but it rides up, it's rubber, and it's goes gradual elevation, and then you just bop off. It's
Instead of going up and then slowly down. Well,
right.
if you're not.
But it has painted lines on it, like starts off smaller, bigger,
Mhm.
till you get to the end, and then you just sort of pop down. But because of the fact of the painted lines,
Right.
it's a visual, and right away you slow down the minute you see it. And they are probably placed every 50 to 75 feet apart. Maybe it's 100. I don't know. I was in the car. So,
How, do you think, and that's not in the petition, but do you think line painting visual would suffice? Because I am in favor definitely of reducing the speed limit from 20 to 15. I mean, if you can't go 20, then now you're going to have to just about walk there. And I think it's important for the safety and the size of the community. But I know Public Works and EMS and the police are not in favor of speed humps, bumps. But how do they deal with it in our beach communities?
I think we also, I sent, they work well in Soundview.
Right.
but they're only seasonal.
Well, that's what they're
Well, they're
asking for here, is seasonal,
Uh,
right?
And I sent Road and Public Safety an article that was in Bloomberg. The city of Boston and the city of Cambridge
Mhm.
have adopted speed bumps
Yeah.
as a primary solution. So those are two major players, and they,
course.
I think we can look at that, and they're becoming more common with larger towns that you wouldn't expect them, who also have
Exactly.
EMS and fire and a lot of concern.
That's what I'm wondering is, I mean, I understand ambulances, want to jostle, but the ambulance goes down your beach areas
Yeah,
and they
and-
deal with it. I mean,
And I saw,
I
if
think
you,
it's-
if you go to Abbott's in Noank,
yes,
which is a public street,
right,
town of Groton, that's a speed mountain.
right.
Going up and down those-
You-
I mean,
Right.
you can't do more than 15 without taking
Baltimore
out,
is the
taking
same
out your
way.
transmission.
I mean, if
so-
you're going even close to the speed limit, you're going to hit the ceiling of your car. And
So-
these are large municipal areas. So why our resistance? I understand it's inconvenient or causes equipment problems, but we're not talking.
At least something on the level of sound views,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't egregious, but it
Well,
does help.
Of
They
course
did.
it does.
They have $1,000 in their budget for speed bumps or humps.
Mhm.
This particular year, that probably would only get them half of one. But I also will say that I know that Pointed Woods is a private roads, but I have to say they have an ingenious way with no speed humps or
Mhm.
bumps.
Yep.
Where they have just little gates that are portable and they put
Yep.
them out and you kind of have to go around. And if somebody's coming towards you, you sort of have to
Yep.
maneuver and work together to get around. And they're not big. I'd say they're about 4
No,
feet, 3
it-
feet wide.
Not Miami, but is it, Lime Shores has the same thing. So you've got, it looks like a hurdle
Right.
and they alternate them.
And then they put them away in the winter and it
Right.
really seems to do. I don't know if we could put those on a public road, but I will say that it really works at Pointed Woods
Mhm.
very well. And you're not, and also too, those can be removed if an emergency vehicle is coming in. Those can quickly just flip to this. I mean, they're just moved to the side. They're lightweight, they're easy to move, and they can do that if they know there's an emergency coming in.
Can we reduce the speed without accepting the other, i.e. reduce the speed to 15 while we investigate the other options for the feasibility money-wise and practicality-wise? But I think if the first step would be to lower it to 15, it's a good gesture. That I agree, there's a lot of traffic at times on that road, whether it's local people, members of a private club, or people trying to get to a beach. But I think it needs attention and
I
a
mean,
15,
I-
and then follow up with some,
Speed enforcement from the
Speed
police
enforcement.
department.
I mean, I'm in favor of the full recommendation from them, but I would definitely accept reducing
It's a
the
start.
speed right away
right.
and seriously consider putting in speed.
We only
So
did
I-
get a half a hump, so right now, that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
let's start with the speed
So
limit.
let's look at, I tried to also encourage them to talk to Frank Papalardo because I know he's putting in another request. And I said, more buying power. So maybe if he adds another one, it'll reduce his cost and then you could split the difference and things like that. So let's,
I have one other question on the seasonal ones. It could be moved throughout the season, so people don't say, oh, here it is.
Well,
you
Or
have to drill.
I don't know how difficult it
Yeah,
is.
you have to
so
drill.
you have to
They-
drill
you
it.
have to drill into
Okay.
the asphalt and then they have
I don't
stoppers
want
that they
people
put
to
in.
become complacent because, oh, now I made it over that. I can pick up speed.
And the worst
Okay.
thing is you don't want to cause a problem on the road, which then they repave. And then as everybody
yeah.
said, the minute you repave, it becomes a speedway because it's now a nice flat surface. So
Totally agree.
sometimes the potholes are
Mhm.
speed hump of their own. I am perfectly happy to talk about reducing the speed limit to 15. Two things to take into consideration. I am not sure that we have 15-mile-an-hour signs. So we would have to order them and that would take a little while to do that. And
What do they have? Only 2 on that street? Or is it 4, 2 in each direction?
I think it's 4 and 2 in
Okay.
each direction, but I would have Ed look at those and certainly ask him to.
Can we
Um,
trade with any other towns that have signs they're not using?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. But
Swap.
happy to ask him to go and do that. And as soon as possible. And then ask the Road and Public Safety Committee to do some more research on. I mean, the speed bumps are not going to come in time for the summer. The summer is definitely their worst time. They don't have as many complaints during the winter, but I'm all
course.
about correcting it and getting it taken. We can also look to see if we have any slow down signage
Right.
within Public Works. And
Can
I can
we,
see if that's available.
For a period of time between now and the end of the season, move one of our flashing signs saying speed limit is such and such, even if it's the one on the cart, the trailer. Because I know they are effective.
Mhm. I
And
can,
if we could station one on that road, they would see it's a sign of our moving forward and making an effort.
okay, now let me ask you a question, Jude. Would you think that I would think that the slow down one on wheels that we bring in
Mhm.
would most likely be better utilized as they're leaving Brighton Road?
No, I
Going
think
in?
going in because they're all, oh, I'm off the main road. Now I'm in a hurry to get to the beach, park my car. And you have to remember a lot of the people who are speeding are employees. So they are looking to get to work on time. And once they turn off 156 and off of Old Shore Road, it's like, no one's paying any attention. I'm just going to get down there. And they actually pick up speed once they enter the parking lot.
Okay,
So I think that would be better. And they've seen it going in. It's large and you can't miss it going out. They know that on the other side of that sign is a speed monitor. It's only a couple more weeks.
we do have the one portable sign that's solar powered and I can talk to Don. That would be easier to move because with all the wiring on the other ones for solar. But the battery operated one would be easier to mount for the rest a couple of weeks. And we just got 2 new ones in this week.
And I
too.
have to say there is, if you could do it before Saturday morning. No,
Not
only
me personally, but.
No, not you, but if you put the order out, they have their annual meeting Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
Well, I think I can definitely get the one on wheels
Yep,
down
just
there.
anything.
Okay.
And many of the members make a point of getting there for that meeting, which is only once a year.
Okay.
So you'd get the word out, it'd be pretty effective, and it would be brought up at the meeting as well. And I know they have sent out emails and notices.
They've
to
been
that
very
effect.
receptive to help working with us and we
But if they
appreciate that.
see something, you'll get the culprits.
Okay. All right, so we'll work on that. I'll send those emails
Hey,
out
Anita.
today. Okay, so Anita is here with an additional carryover request. We
Thank you.
did her original and she'll, thank you.
Okay,
It's
sorry,
gone
I
down.
did not have been here, your last meeting, but, if you look at your notes, you approved
Mhm.
the carryover request, but you didn't approve the transfer to fund. The transfer to fund was the 26,100, and that is for the police
Oh.
vehicle and the accessories. Why we're moving that to the fund is because they're using that fund to buy the new cars. So
Right.
this will be an offset too for it.
And that was a way that Martha was
So-
able to help reduce the budget, which was great.
This is, number though that we're seeing under carryover is less than what we approved last week.
I thought it was
1406.
1.4. Yeah.
1,000.
No, if you look in the column
million.
before, it's the 1443. You approve
14.
Oh, here it is over here to the way to the left,
Yes.
Martha. This side right here, as opposed to the one to the right.
Right.
So we.
right, and I think you use that.
No, that's not. We have
No,
the
it's in our
right-
minutes.
The minutes are right here. I just want, not.
I
those
thought
are-
it was
Or
1.4.
wait, or maybe when I sorted it, no, it should be.
Anita, it's not the same number. I know
No.
it isn't. So I'm happy to do the 26, but this sheet needs to be,
Yeah, the minutes
tried
from
to-
Martha.
I do, August 4th.
It's here.
Let me just go carryover,
July,
questions,
Sidewalk.
open space, sound view, appointments.
Full business. the tr- Here it is,
Yeah, you-
carryover request, $1,406,247.86.
It was the original carryover request that you'd given us.
It's the same thing. It just when I sorted it, made it smaller.
Okay.
It probably did something.
You know what? Can we just, do you just need the 2016
I
one?
just made it 26. All the other columns were fine.
Okay,
Okay.
and you'll adjust the totals.
Yes.
You'll recheck everything. You're gonna come to Board of Finance, everything with anyways, so I know
I'll
you're
send
gonna.
it all to you in an email later.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anita. It's good to see you.
So can I have a motion to carry over the $26,100 in additional?
I will gladly make a motion to transfer the 26,100.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, moving.
Just motion to transfer it to carryover.
It's a transfer of 26,100 and it's from the
Please.
police vehicle. We're transferring it to Fund 7.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay, last thing on the agenda is,
Did you want to take the public comment?
oh, sorry, Kate, who online needed to be unmuted, please?
I was mistaken.
Okay, great. Okay. So moving to the handbook. Jude, I know you had wanted to have more time to go through it, so we're gonna start with you if you have any questions on.
Okay, so I didn't know if you were, when I read this, I did not know if you meant you were bringing something, final review.
No,
I'm
it's
still
final-
operating on the first draft, correct? It
We're-
says first
this is-
draft.
Yep.
Okay,
that's the
great.
one.
Just want to make sure the.
I know
right
you
one.
said the date is wrong. Just please ignore the date. She just didn't change it. when
Oh, I
she-
didn't know if,
That was not, she just didn't change. It was from the head front thing. She just didn't change it.
I didn't know if I had missed some copies. I had a few questions and Jill was kind enough to send me the evaluation format. So that was great. My questions are,
What page? So we can all be on the same.
I'm on page 13
Okay.
and under retaliation. And I understand what's being said here. I'm trying to figure out how we've changed how we handle this from the past. Are we proactive now? I know some employees over the recent past had felt that there was harassment issues. And I want to know when someone makes a complaint, do they make it in writing, who it goes to, and where that complaint goes from there, what the process is?
The complaint could go to either HR, it could go to me, it could go to a manager if it's against someone else in the same department. There are people who will put it in writing, there are people who won't.
Understood.
So,
And
it
if
is
they
handled, but
do-
everything at this point in time would be run through HR, and if it was something serious enough, we would pull in the labor attorney as well. But basically, this particular thing is retaliation to think that someone would be retaliating against someone, and that would probably require us to do an investigation if they feel that they're retaliating against them because they made a complaint. But this language is literally straight book right out of
I understand.
the labor attorney's handbook. And I believe, and we updated it because of the fact that there had been. So we haven't had any complaints, so it's hard to say.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Page 15. Most of the way down the page above workplace accommodations. Per Connecticut general statutes, all employees are required to attend a 2-hour training session on sexual harassment in the workplace. I just question how and when those are held.
It's done through Kerma, our
Okay,
insurance company. They came last year and did it. And they ran 2 sessions, one so that we can, keep town hall open.
yeah,
So that's what they did.
and they do that once a year so that
You
all,
have to complete the training every 10 years.
okay, so when
But
we have new
we-
employees.
New employees have to do it. There's an online version that they can go to, and we have give them the link, and then they get a certificate when they've completed it correctly.
Okay,
There's a question and answer part. They have to score so high on a test.
okay,
To
so
pass.
all town employees, anyone that would work for the police, the ambulance, any of them have taken this class and will continue.
Yeah, the police may do something a little different through the state police,
Okay,
but it is, they get
Okay.
it as well.
and again, Park and Rec, all those people have to take.
We
this.
do Kerma worked with Jill to prepare something that's a little easier to understand for their students
The
that
summer,
work for us.
yep.
Because some of the materials in the adult one, we felt was a little,
I know with organizations like Amtrak, different ones, before you can actually get on the payroll, you have to take that class. Do we require that of all employees in the town, whether
Well, we
they're
just-
part-time or full-time?
well, last year, we really started it.
Okay, so
So-
this is as of last year.
Well, they supposedly, some had done it before I got here. But last year, we made sure everybody did
Okay.
it.
Is there a way that when Jill onboards an employee that they cannot be?
She would make them do the training before they got a paycheck. They would not get a paycheck until they had completed the training. They don't get a paycheck if they haven't completed their paperwork. There's a lot of requirements
Okay, I'm just
to get that first one.
covering the town.
Yeah.
Not many more.
No, we're not doing it today. Okay,
She just said email it.
Thank you.
okay,
Wait a minute, I'm almost done, Mike.
it's okay. That was page 15.
Okay, this is just a question, I'm sure, Jill can answer it. Where do I find the job descriptions for each job
Job descriptions
or
are,
on the website?
no, only if we post a position.
Okay,
We don't have, when you apply for a position, the job description is
Mhm.
posted. And then you're given a copy of your job description when you sign your contract saying that you're,
okay, but so existing employees have job descriptions,
yes.
even if they've
that
been
was part of-
long-term.
If
I
you
knew
remember.
we spent a lot of time and money making that happen.
Right.
So I just wanted to make
And
sure.
we have, we just recently updated one because, well, we didn't update it, but we did have everyone look at it when Fallon
Okay.
resigned a week ago because she's got a new position. We had everybody check it one more time just to make sure there was nothing else that we should have added.
Page 28, outside employment. How often is that evaluated? I mean, do we ask employees to disclose annually what they do? How do we follow up on that? And I don't expect answers on all of it. These are the
Usually
things that I
this
saw.
is done with their manager. So their department head,
Okay,
they
so,
would say, is it okay if I do this? We've had a couple of people who have come to us
Mhm.
and said, are you okay if I continue to do this? When we had someone hired recently, they wanted to do this part-time gig that they had, and we said, you can do it, but you cannot
So
do
Jim
it.
can't do any concerts, right, Jim?
No.
I guess my
I'm
question,
not trying to hurry you,
can't-
Judy.
yeah, I
just
know.
have to do a
I know you're-
presentation at 7. So,
He's
I'm
gotta
almost
go.
yeah,
finished.
but I'm sorry,
So
this is
how
obnoxious on
about-
my part.
Department managers, do we monitor whether they are working in other communities or have other jobs? I know it's the honor system, but if we feel that people aren't getting their work done and it suffers, is that ever reviewed? You don't have to give me the answers. I still am not clear on non-smoking and non-vaping.
There is a non-smoking clause in here.
I'm reading
And
it.
she get,
I've read it, gone through it a few times. What happens?
we don't have any, we have
no consequence.
no problems.
Good, we don't have any smokers anymore? Ed quit?
And there is no smoking in that truck.
Or in the Public Works building? I know people
Outside.
complained of it being a gas chamber, and I'm just responding to comments from,
Well, that was long ago. There's
Good.
there's
I
a new
hope
girl
he's-
in town.
well, I hope
He's
that's the case.
responded.
So if they are caught smoking and have been reprimanded a few times, they're probably shown Smokers Anonymous or something and given some time.
Well, I'm not gonna say that they're going to be cured of smoking, but
How do we enforce it? I guess is what I'm saying, because I
you
know.
say to them that they're not supposed to smoke in town hall, and we don't have it, I mean, in any town building. I am
equipment.
not at the fire department. I have seen someone from the fire department who smokes, but they've smoked outside.
I would
So
expect that, yes.
Think that they are very courteous and agree to our policies. And let me put it this way. Once this is approved, then it gets sent to everyone and they all have to read it and sign saying they've read it. So then if they get caught and they say, I didn't know, we say.
I didn't
"You
know if
signed-
we
you
wanted
signed."
something. This is what happens if you do choose to do it and we catch you.
We would do a progressive form of discipline. One time is a verbal warning, the next one would be a written warning.
Okay,
and
that's
then
what I
we
wanted.
go through.
One was verbal,
We
the
always-
next one is written, and then it's dismissal.
Well, not dismissal. The next one would be garnish of wages for a day and then you dismiss, but you have to do progressive.
Okay. Those were points of clarification. I
And
would
it
have.
depends on what the defense offense was. I mean,
I meant in regards to smoking.
okay.
And I don't mean smoking pot or things like that. I know there's a whole section in there as well, but
Yeah.
those were the concerns that I had.
Okay. Anything else?
No, and if I do or need more explanation, I'll just ask to meet with Jill. Is she still 20, 25 hours a week?
Yep. And she's
Okay.
gonna come to see us in September.
Great.
So we picked a date this morning for her to come to Board of Selectmen.
Good. Thank
Okay,
you.
so can I get a motion to approve the first draft of the employee handbook as our final draft? And then we will. Matter.
Nothing. To call approval of the first draft as the final draft is
Well,
a
it
little
was the first-
confusing to me.
I had her watermark this because one of the ones that she sent us did not have first
Mhm.
draft on it. So this is the first draft. And we haven't made any changes to it. So now we're going forward with approval.
I hear you.
I'll make a motion to approve the first draft of the Town of Old Lyme Employee Handbook as the final draft from the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second. Any further comment?
Nope.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of this employee handbook being put into place, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Mm.
Okay. No,
No abstentions, no no's.
you approve?
I am in favor of putting it in place.
Okay,
You were right. Okay.
aye,
Mhm.
okay. All right,
Can we? That's great. I'd like to be able to use this as a base. So moving forward, if we have any adjustments that we
Oh, yeah.
learn or experiences along the way, that we leave the door open
These are
to
always,
make changes.
always.
these are living
Thank you.
documents.
And I
Yeah.
can tell you already, the pension committee will probably make a change in the fall because there's probably some language that we are missing due to continuous federal regulation changes. Okay, And we're back to our 1406 on this sheet,
And-
so we're good there.
And I realize there's time constraints, and I hope you have a wonderful wedding weekend. In the future, I want to make sure we have enough time for selectmen's discussions. He's
got
on
presentation
stage
to do.
tonight at
I'm on
7.
stage in
Okay.
15 minutes. My computer better.
Can I have
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
at 6:44? Thank you. I don't think anybody's abstaining. All in favor of adjourning?
All right.
Aye.
Okay.